Welcome viewers, this is Focus on Tourism. Your regular host Emmanuel Frimpong. Today it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day in the sense that we have seen 2026. This is our first edition of Focus on Tourism. And before I introduce our special guest, let me give you my take on tourism. We all know December in GH, which we have seen quite a number of people coming into the country for various reasons. We have Dirty December, where people have their own views about Dirty December, but whatever it is not the dirty that we know. It is D-E-T-T-Y, Dirty December. It is just about having fun, enjoying ourselves. And we saw interesting events taking place. And we have seen that there's a lot that we can do, not just focusing on December. At least we can have events from January all the way to December. So we need to look at how best can we have events right from January to December and not focus too much on just December, which is good, but we have to look at how we can develop the sector in such a way that it does not focus so much on one particular month. Because if something happens within that month and people are unable to travel, what it means is that we've lost revenue for the whole year. So I think we need to look at how best we can structure our sector in such a way that we can actually have people coming in throughout the year. So kudos to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Art, Ghana Tourism Authority, Ghana Tourism Development Company, and all the event organizers that came together to make Ghana alive in December. So we look forward to having great 2026. We'll be right back after a short break, and then we will start our conversation for Focus on Tourism. Thank you.
Would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, CH Travel and Tour. With CH Travel and Tour, they offer services like flight ticketing, hotel booking, visa assistance, car rentals, study abroad. You can contact them on 024 306 8558, 024 306 8558, or you can contact them on their landline 030 231 8932, 030 231 8932.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Focus on Tourism, and your regular host Emmanuel Frimpong here. This is the 2026 edition, beginning of the year, and we have a personality here with us who has been a tourism practitioner, educating young people in different ways. In fact, when he started talking about digital tourism, using technology to promote tourism, most of us in Africa were not talking about it. And we are happy to have him here. He is a professor, and recently, per what he's been doing in the tourism and hospitality industry, the President of the Republic honored him by giving him a responsibility at Ghana Tourism Development Company, one of the agencies under the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Art that is so critical to the development of tourism. So with me this morning on Focus on Tourism, as we look at what the industry has been doing and what he has been doing in particular at the Ghana Tourism Development Company since he took over. So Prof. Kobe Mensah, we are happy to have you on
the Almighty Emmanuel Frimpong.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah,
Prof, how have you been?
Well, by His grace, I've been excellent. During the vacation, had a good rest with family.
Okay, that's important.
Re-engineered myself.
Okay.
And obviously also reflected on what we have done and what we can do as a sector.
Right.
And I would say that I'm pumped up for the year.
I like the pop up. How did it start?
Pop up is actually pop up is actually my sort of a rejuvenating, saying, or energy pumping, philosophy. It started when I was doing my master's at Sheffield.
Okay.
We're only two blacks in class. The other British black guy and me. And he used to call me Ghana. So, Robert, fantastic guy. So whenever there is a challenge, obviously, as a Ghanaian student, you have to be going to work and then coming to school. So when I come to school and I feel down, you'll be like, Ghana, pump up. So that's how we used to chat. So Robert, I give him that credit. He actually, started that. So it became a philosophy that I hooked up to. So whenever I'm down, I just say pump up. So for my class, when I'm asking my students questions and they seem to be sitting there, I'll be telling them pump up. It means challenge yourself. Let yourself flow, get into that consciousness. So I always use it as a moment to challenge myself. So when I'm in my reflective move, I say, can we pump up? You have to get this right. You have to. So I'll brood over things, and surely answers will come.
Wow, that's quite interesting. So before we get to GTDC, where you serve as the CEO, let's look at the tourism space, the sector. You have been in the sector for quite some time now. In fact, I have known you over 10 years when we used to do youth tourism challenge and youth in tourism and all those things.
Yeah, we started the Kwachis program and all that.
Yes. So you have been in the space for quite some time. What has been the trajectory in terms of where Ghana was 10 years ago, where we are now? What is happening with tourism? How have we done, and what can we do to get to where we are?
Now let me take you back to 1999.
Okay.
When I started with CITO, MNJ Travel and Tours. I'm sure a lot of people would remember. I quite remember when working with CITO as a young man. Just started my national service.
Right.
I couldn't believe the level of opportunities in that particular space that quite a lot of people didn't know about. Marian Thompson, whom I cherish very much, and her husband, Dr. Pempe, saw that this young man, then from IPS, had the potential to really market, the company. So they took me as a marketing officer for C2 MNJ. And it was amazing, especially for young people. This is the time when we could actually organize trips for students, using protocols. I didn't know that you can literally take passports to American embassy without the applicants going there.
Wow.
And the visas will be granted, and then they will travel. It was so surreal for me. So I think I fell in love with that. And we processed quite a lot of young people on exchange programs, swap programs, student work abroad programs, Volunteer Ghana, Teach Ghana, and it was so fascinating. But a lot of people didn't know. In fact, those days, myself and Deborah, we used to be stopped at Tetekwashi when we were coming to work. People would stop us because they would see the CITO footprint, and they would be like, "Oh, I want my daughter to go to Canada." There's a man who actually promised me in Takrade, will buy me a goat if the daughter gets a visa to go to Canada, to study. And I got her the visa.
Wow.
He's paid quite a lot of money. He never got the daughter never got opportunity. And I told it because I had then gone to Takrade to be the CITO branch, there. And I told him that it's possible. We'll process the document, Canadian visa. She got it. Wow. And it was so surreal. So I feel that there's a lot of opportunities in tourism that people don't know. Over the years, Ghanaians have come to realize that bit of our economy, tourism, and it's growing. The only thing is that I think there are structural deficiencies because as much as there are opportunities, they have to grow with structure and a certain formalization. I mean, since the 9/11, obviously the protocol systems that CITO used to have actually reduced. It's difficult now to get to Legon and say you're putting the student together and then getting the visas. because obviously people too have been becoming, I don't know what I should say, dishonest. You know, you take people to the trips, they don't want to come back. They find all sort of ways to evade, you know, the system. So we need to tie in the opportunities with structure, with certain formalization, in order that we could tap deeper into the opportunities that tourism bring. I think we haven't been successful. And that's why when the president gave me the opportunity, my main goal is to put the structures in place. As an academic, and today I'm putting on my academic hat, as an academic, not a CEO, I know that for institutions to work, you need processes, you need systems, and you need people, which means that you have to have a continuous development in capacity, what people know and what they can actually do, you know, with their knowledge. Now, you need systems. You know, every institutions need certain systems that facilitates the performance of the staff or of the human resource. And then you need processes. You need procedural sequence of doing things from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4. We haven't been successful, not only in tourism, in so many other areas in our sectors. People do not have a clear-cut view of how things work, you know, and so the informality is too many. You have people calling every time, oh, how does this work? How does that work? It shouldn't be the case. When you intend to have a particular service, you should immediately know how to work. If you don't know, you can go online. These days we're lucky. And then the procedure is there. As we speak, in the December, I found people even asking for tickets for certain events. It shouldn't be like that. I mean, you know, I had a number of people sending a message and say, oh, I want to go to this event. How do I get tickets? I want to go to that event. How do I get tickets? And to be very honest, myself, I didn't even know. You see, and that's why we are very bent on doing the marketplace and saying that if we have a marketplace properly marketed, everybody knows that if I go to the marketplace, I can get tickets for Emmanuel's show. I can get ticket for Chief Mumin's show. I can get ticket for Uncle Ibowai's show. I can get ticket for Cape Coast Museum. I can get ticket for Kwame Nkrumah. That is systems in place. And so, yes, big time opportunities in tourism, but it goes with structure. It goes with a certain formalization in order that we can dig deeper into the opportunities that the tourism offer.
That's quite interesting. In fact, one thing that I've observed about you is you've been consistent with system, structure, process, people, that sort of thing. You keep talking about it. But let me ask you, you look at the caliber of workforce that we have in the tourism and hospitality industry. If you take tour operators, you take tour guides, you take those who are front office operators, who are working in their hotels, you realize that the people are not well trained, the skills are not there. And then you look at the process, like you mentioned, there was an event that somebody was asking me because there was no time. The event was there, but there was no time. I don't even know who is organizing this event. How do we get this? We need to do the PPP, public-private partnership. How do we get around this to make sure that these systems are working, structures are there, processes are there, people are well equipped and skilled to do their work?
For sectors that you see them optimizing opportunities, there is a certain word that we use for them: professionalization. If you take the accountants, it's professionalized. Now, the professionalization does not mean only the best way of doing things, but it's also hierarchical. It means that there is an overseeing institution that ensures that whoever actually gets into that particular sector abide by the procedures and the way of doing things. And so the accountants have the ICAG, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. Globally, you have ACCAs, etc. If you come to marketing, We have CIMG, which I'm part of it, Chartered Institute of Marketing. And then, of course, globally you have CIM, Chartered Institute of Marketing Global. If you go to the doctors, you have, a professional body. If you go to even journalism, you have a professional body, all right?
Pharmacists.
Yes, exactly. Tourism, you don't have a professional body. You don't have a professional body.
Right.
There isn't a certification and there isn't a continuous development institution.
Right.
Obviously you have training institutions. Hotcat, my own very good friend Eric, heads Hotcat, and I can tell you, I used to aspire to be at the Hotcat to teach when I was at, and not to teach, to learn as a student when I was at C2MNJ.
Wow.
Because Hotcat was so prestigious. I don't know. It used to be very prestigious. I think it should be prestigious because that's what we knew people who wanted to work in aviation or aviation, like air hostess, etc. Those days, those who do ticketing and reservation, IATA courses, etc. That's where you go. So it was very glamorous, all right? It was very majestic to actually think that you want to. Have we maintained that consistency? No, we haven't. So for me, I think that we have to get to a point where we have a certain professionalism, within the space. A certain, obviously, the universities, actually UCC, Ken UST, obviously my own Legon, have these, certification programs. We need a professional kind of institution that oversee, after you have finished school, performances of people that actually work within the space. But of course, you would also have difficulty because majority actually finish a tourism course and they branch into banking. So, because they don't see a certain, image of excellence or image of doing better in that sector. So they would finish a course in tourism, but you find them in the banks, you find them in the telcos, you find them in FMCGs, because obviously part of marketing, tourism is marketing. And so they would use the marketing skills to branch into these areas. If we can find a way of ensuring doing good, ensuring a certain aura of excellence in the field, students will stay. And we could have the opportunity to also mobilize into a professional setting. When you go to Kenya and South Africa, I think there are institutions like that. In our systems. I mean, if you have the IPOs or the professional event organizers, the POs, etc. In Ghana, we don't have those things. It's almost like a place where you can just enter and come out. If you feel like you have some few connections, you can be a travel agent. If you feel like you can do some few. And so it doesn't augur well for a sector like that actually receives 90% of your customers being foreign. And I tell my students that, look, the most difficult sector to work in is tourism. Hospitality and tourism, because 90% of the bank's customers are Ghanaians. And so their attitude and behaviors, you can align with them. 90% of your customers as tourism and hospitality are foreigners. You don't know them. So you have to have an open mind and you should be very much adaptive to their attitudes and behaviors in order that you can satisfy them. And that's the challenge. And so for such an area, not having a certain professional feel, then there's a problem.
Wow, this is interesting. Viewers, this is Focus on Tourism, and we have here with us the CEO of GTDC. GTDC is Ghana Tourism Development Company. It's a body that is mandated to make sure that we bring investment in tourism. We make sure that we sell tourism in Ghana, outside Ghana as well. Professor Kobe Mensah, we'll go back for a short break. When we come back, we'll be delving into what he has been doing for the past 1 year. That's almost 1 year. It's not 1 year, exactly 1 year, but almost 1 year since the president honored him and gave him this responsibility. I see it as a huge responsibility in tourism, and we all know what tourism does for the country. So he has a huge responsibility. So when we come back from the short break, we'll be delving into what he has been doing so far and what he's going to do from this year and probably the next 2-3 years. And who knows, he might come back after 2020 what? 829? We never know. So stay tuned. This is Focus on Tourism. We'll be right back.
Would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, CH Travel and Tour. With CH Travel and Tour, they offer services like flight ticketing, hotel booking, visa assistance, car rentals, study abroad. You can contact them on 024 306 8558, 024 306 8558, or you can contact them on their landline 030 231 8932, 030 231 8932.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Focus on Tourism, and we are having some interesting conversation with the CEO of Ghana Tourism Development Company, Professor Kobe Mensah. Earlier on, we're talking about tourism in general, and I told you when we come back from the short break, we are going to delve into his office, what he has been doing, what he's looking to do, and what he's hoping to get all of us on board to do so that tourism in Ghana can take its rightful place. So, Prof, we are back from our short break.
Thank you. Yes.
Now, let's get into GTDC. What was the place like when you took over in terms of human resource, in terms of structure, in terms of funding for you to take off? How was it like? Were you excited when you get there? Can you share with us?
I was scared. I was completely scared.
Wow.
My first time when I met the outgoing CEO then.
Right.
The picture, now I can leave it to people, whether they heard GTDC before, you know.
A lot of people didn't.
Nah, not even the outgoing CEO's own friends, according to what he told me. He said that his friends only got to know GTDC when they heard my news item.
Okay.
So they read and they mention the new guy coming and they mention the old guy coming. They say, so I wonder your place. So that tells you the verdict. The verdict is that it was completely a non-entity. But don't forget, this is an institution that was set up in 1972.
Wow.
Way before GIPC. Because GIPC is a new entity. And you know, GTDC and GIPC almost
have a
similar framework.
Yes.
Only that GTDC is specific.
Yes.
Tourism investment. GIPC has a wider, broader scope. So at some point, you can even say that since the inception of GIPC, GTDC is irrelevant. But you couldn't actually push that because GTDC is very specific.
Right.
Dedicated to tourism. But nowhere near the capacity of GIPC. Now, from the perspective of marketing, an institution that even local people don't know, how would you bring in investment? I mean, as a marketer, brand don't sell themselves if they don't know. You know, and I always say that when you develop a product and the target market don't know it, it's no longer it's not yet a brand. It becomes a brand when the target market knows, because we say that the definition of branding is identity and differentiation. Right. So a brand must have these two. Should be able to be identified and be able to differentiate itself from the other competing. Okay. If you haven't arrived at that point, you're a product, you're not a brand, right? Okay. Now, GTDC was perhaps popular in the past. It owned a lot of assets. Right. You know, it owned quite a appreciable, you know, asset within the tourism space. Right. By the time I took over, and I always joke, we had 1.5 a car, you know, 1 car and a half. that is even not existent at the moment. As I speak, the 1.5 car that we had, they're all grounded. I mean, there's nothing you can speak of about these 2 cars that we're trying to fix them.
Right.
But when I use the word we're trying to fix them, then you can understand the resource constraint.
Right.
I came in almost 3 months, they haven't been paid, the staff. Staff were just walking in the office in terms of where we are, basically doing nothing, and that's the truth. The only staff that you probably could say were working were the ones at the Asemanso.
Okay.
The store sites.
Okay.
At Asemanso, and then the big tree, because obviously visitors go there, But in headquarters, or if I should put it in headquarters, obviously the rentals had gone down. There's no car, so the drivers are there doing nothing. Obviously, we can't get the cars on the road, so the manager who also sees to that. So literally, the place was non-entity, if I should put it that way. And don't forget, GTDC is not subvented.
Yeah.
Doesn't get nothing from government. No, from your salary to your electricity to your water, it's supposed to be internally generated.
Wow.
Do you get it? So you can imagine if you do not have a revenue handle. As a business student, I know that corporations or companies only raise money when they have invested. Investment into machinery, investment into human resource, investment into systems. Then you put it into the market. Sometimes it can take you 5 years to break even your initial investment.
Yes.
And then you start seeing what we call return, which is profit, right? But here is the case, a business that has no tools and that has no revenue handles, but you are supposed to be self-sufficient. How do you pay yourself? How do you pay your electricity? So the how is that the business only relies on its past.
Okay.
That is, it has some shares in some assets
Right.
that they pay dividend.
Okay.
And then the previous regime was using those dividend to pay staff. Now, dividend can take you so much. You have 12 months in a year.
Yeah.
So if the dividend get exhausted in terms of salary by March or June, then it means the rest of the year. Because you have to wait until the assets declare profits for the next, what we call business cycle before you can do that, right? You can't operate business like that. Because certainly you cannot guarantee that your assets will generate profit. If your assets actually report losses, how do you are gone. You are toast, right? Essentially. So that is the situation. Now, I would say that, and I can pride myself by saying that since we took over, this administration took over, we've turned around, that process. Now the office is active. We now have revenue handles.
Okay.
As you know, we have Accra by Night, which we launched. We have Fleet Pool Management Services, which we launched. We have Ghana Tourism Marketplace. We have the Ghana Tourism Investment Platform. And now we're going to have the Ghana Tourism Events Calendar, which you had the privilege of seeing, right?
Yes.
So we have now revenue handles that can adequately generate us revenue to settle or to operate the business. Our challenge now is how to market them. For the product we've developed them, you've got to go to market. If you don't have the budget, what do you do? So it's now piecemeal approach that we are using it, but we'll get there. So for what we have done, I would say that, and credit to my staff, they've been absolutely supportive. They've worked so hard in the presence of pittance or in the environment. If you see their salaries, I'm telling you, you will be surprised. And I told you that I'm putting my academic hat on. I question whether I would have that patience to work in that institution. I would have gone long ago, to be honest with you. It's deplorable. Do you get it? Absolutely deplorable. But they have been there worked so hard. So I give them credit.
Right.
And I know that we can turn around that institution, we can make it viable, and perhaps through that effort, we can reward their loyalty, their patience, and their commitment to the business.
That sounds great. I like the bit where you talk about you believe you can turn around things. And you mentioned 5 things that so far you are doing. We are going to get into each of them. I was at the launch of the Ghana marketplace, and then the Ghana tourism investment. And I was excited about it because it's something that for some of us we've been talking about, and we didn't know how to go around it, and we couldn't see who was going to actually champion something like that. So we are going to look into each of them and then probably focus more on these last 2. I'm equally excited about the calendar. In my introduction, behind the scenes, we're talking about it, not knowing you have even done something like this, which we have to know. So walk us through the very things that you've done so far, and then after that, when we come back from break, then we look at what are you looking forward to in terms of who can support and what support do you need. How do we also get others, not just Ghanaians? In fact, some Ghanaians have money. They can invest if they understand the sector and they know that they will have return on their investment.
Absolutely.
Some brothers outside Ghana who are not even Ghanaians are looking to invest in Ghana, and they are looking to invest in the tourism space, but they don't know where, they don't know how. I've heard you talk about. So I want you to start from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me take the marketplace, for example. The attitude or the behavior of the tourist now, whether domestic or foreign, is online.
Okay.
We take our information online.
Right.
We process our information online. As I speak, even if you're a Ghanaian and you want to go to Kumasi for a funeral,
Right.
and probably you're not from Kumasi, chances are that you go online to check which hotel you would sleep, or you get opportunity, you get a space. So you check hotels or Airbnbs or whatever, you check online. And once you check online, things pop up. And then maybe the first 5 hits, you're going to click on them and check. That's the attitude of the tourist, locally, internationally. In that sense, what is our presence online? As we speak, and one of my students, now he's no longer a student, Dominic, he's now a doctor, Dominic Ando, who is also in the field.
Travel photography.
Exactly. He did his PhD in destination image management.
Right.
If he hits tourism, or if you hit the name Ghana online, chances are that you're going to see a lot of news items.
Right.
Why? Because you have almost about 200 plus TV channels and more than 500 radio stations in Ghana, linked up with blogs, and all those things. And the news media is comprehensively dominating the internet space when it comes to Ghana's image online, or Ghana's web presence. Is dominated by the news media. The news media is not sanctioned to speak about how beautiful your country looks, or what hotel opportunities, or what top spaces. They're supposed to speak on everything. And governance is one of the biggest area that the news media cover. And so you're most likely to see, not so much of good news on governance, but you're likely to see corruption. You're likely to see chieftaincy issues, etc. What am I saying? If the tourist hits the name Ghana online, you see a lot of negative press than good press. Yet those of us in the industry have the responsibility to project the country. You project the country with good news, isn't it? With good feel, with good opportunities. So how many of us are doing what that can compete what the news media is doing? Is a problem. And so the marketplace, as we did, was coming from the position that we need to manage the destination image of Ghana.
Right.
And so the marketplace is not only where you can go and book your hotel or order for a bus for a trip, or get a tour guide and book them for a trip, but also to manage destination image.
Okay.
So we are putting videos and reports, feature articles on Ghana, good feel part of Ghana, and deliberately promoted what we call search marketing.
Okay.
Right? So search engine optimization, search engine marketing, etc. Manipulating the algorithms in a manner that, not manipulating negatively, but feeding the algorithm with a good feel of, in a manner that when somebody types Ghana, will be among the top 5 hits. Right. The individual will then click on us and come to the marketplace.
Right.
Instead of seeing a news item that will say there's chaos, etc. That's the idea. And we believe that when we have been successful in onboarding all the sectors of the tourism sector, all the arms of the tourism sector on the marketplace, it makes it easier for me to book National Theatre tickets, for me to book a trip to Cape Coast, Asemanso, etc. That's the idea. So the marketplace is a destination management tool, as it is an online tourism agency, but very much geared towards the destination management, so that we can even know how much is tourism revenue every month, week on week, month on month, and where our shortfalls are, which service is actually predominant or dominant in a particular month, which are not in a particular month.
Right.
That way we can be very comprehensive in our decisions in terms of tourism promotion. We'll be able to say that, okay, there's a lot of theater in April. Why? Because of A, B, C, D, E. There's a lot of requests for maybe, leisure tourism. Why? Because of A, B, C, D. We can manage, the destination better. Right. That's why we have the Ghana Tourism Marketplace. Okay. Now, let's look at the Ghana Tourism Investment Platform. Again, I said to myself, when my predecessor handed me some bunch of heavy, I think you've come to my office, I've showed you. I didn't ask him, but I was asking myself, in this day and age, how many of this can you travel with? And they wouldn't even have time to watch it. Because you're going for an investment conference and you're holding packs of this thing and say, oh, this is what we have got. No, nobody. So we have to have a smart way of doing it. And again, coming from our challenges in terms of finances, something that I can immediately start pushing to show delivery and to actually bring in awareness. So the Ghana Tourism Market Investment Platform, which we call it Invest in Tourism, that we deliberately use that word as an action word. Marketing, you have 3 stages of messaging. We have what we call cognitive, affective, and cognitive. And so when you are doing a cognitive messaging, it's call to action, which most people call it. So when we say invest in tourism, you understand what we mean, right? We are telling you that you have to put money into tourism. So we did a website as investintourism.org, and then started capturing district by district investable tourism spaces. All right. Our aim is to ensure that we have all the 261 districts captured. At least if even one district gives us 5 destinations that need investment, and we'll put them there. We're going to have so much areas that people can check, and they're categorized in terms of heritage tourism, in terms of ecotourism, in terms of agro-tourism, whatever tourism kind you will find on the Ghana Tourism Investment Platform. And then you will say, okay, I'm interested in that. Now, we're not only profiling investable tourism spaces in the district, but we're also profiling investable tourism projects that people are doing. So, for example, there's this man who is building a hotel in Ebri. In fact, the guy responsible, the son is my student. He, asked us to come and profile their place. So we went in and profile. Beautiful hotel, very big hotel on an elevated place in what do you call it? Ebri. When you stand there, you see the entire Accra.
Yeah.
And he needs a JV. He needs an investor to do a joint venture with.
Right.
We've profiled that. So if you're building your hotel or you're building a very massive restaurant that takes a lot of covers,
Right.
or you want to build an amusement park, which one lady also contacted me. She wants to build an amusement park. So we're going to profile it and put it on that.
Right.
We capture that. And then in our marketing or in our going around to look for investors, we are showing investors these profiles and say, look, these are the kind of things we have in Ghana. We have an amusement park somebody's building, they've secured their land, etc. We need somebody to partner them to do it. This such and so bed hotel, we need somebody to partner. We have these spaces. When you go to Galosota, there's a place in the Volta region, there's a place called Galosota.
Okay.
Beautiful, village. In fact, Professor Dade Wosodu, if you know him, he actually contacted me. First time that I was appointed, he was the first person to have come to our office. So I give him always, cordial credit. And luckily, he's an Absunian, so he's an action guy. So he took me to the village. We went to profile the place. Beautiful place. Yeah. That place is perfect for what we call carbon offsetting in the schemes, carbon financing schemes, because it's a mangrove area.
Okay.
And so we are meeting, or we are, talking to, trying to get investors, matching investors, and say, look, if you want to invest in carbon exchange schemes, carbon financing schemes, Galosota is beautiful for you. And we've covered, and it's also for ecotourism, So this is what we're doing. Now, for that tool, we don't necessarily have to be traveling the world.
Right.
It costs a lot of money.
It does.
So if we can't go to the conference, we can send our link for them to play it and then say that this is what we have in Ghana. We can promote it with search engine marketing, so that people click on investment in tourism in Africa, it comes up and they can see, etc. We can use the social media tools to market them in order that people can find these spaces in Ghana. And the beautiful thing is that we're not only profiling the spaces, but we're also profiling the infrastructure. Okay. So when we travel to do the capture, like take the photos and do the drone shots, etc., we're also measuring the distances of the road and the status they're in. Okay. So once we set off from Accra, we set the coordinates to measure how long to that place is tarred or is asphalt. Then we capture that trunk road, 75-kilometer asphalt. And then town roads. From that, when we get to that town, to the site, what status of road is it in? Tarred or untarred? We capture that coordinates. And then access road to that particular place, whether it's hiking, etc., or whatever, we capture that. So we give it infrastructure updates. Again, when we're in that community, we test the internet strength. Okay. And then we check whether there's potable water and alternative sources. And then we check there's electricity. So when you go to Ghana Tourism Investment Platform, you get an update of the tourism sites, the status they are in, whether they are underdeveloped, they are developed, or they are developing. And then we give you update on infrastructure. You have a comprehensive information there. As I speak, when I generate my reports of the Ghana Tourism Investment Platform, which we have updated by 15 sites, I can tell you the percentage kilometers of roads or tourism roads in Ghana that are tarred or untarred. Wow. In the past, you couldn't have that data.
No, we didn't. No, we were just talking about fixed road.
Yeah, but what's the data? What's the percentage? You can't tell. But now, I can tell you with that information. So you can imagine, if I cover the 261 district, I can tell you with the press on the finger that we have a percentage of road distances in Ghana that are tarred or untarred. Okay. And then you can use it for national policy.
Wow. This is interesting. We will be back. I want us to delve deep into. You've shown us what you've done. The next stage probably is where are we looking for investment from, and what support would you require to get to? Because so viewers, I am excited. I don't know about you, and I'm sure you're also excited. Now you know about GTDC, you know what they are doing. Fantastic ideas, not just ideas, but ideas that has started its implementation and where it's going. So we'll be right back after a short break, and then we will delve deeper into the conversation. This is Focus on Tourism on CH Television. So we'll be right back.
Would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, CH Travel and Tour. With CH Travel and Tour, they offer services like flight ticketing, hotel booking, visa assistance, car rentals, study abroad. You can contact them on 024 306 8558, 024 306 8558, or you can contact them on their landline 030 231 8932, 030 231 8932.
Welcome back, viewers. We are still on Focus on Tourism at CH Television, and we have an interesting conversation with a guest that I mean, you all know the name, Professor Kobe Benson, the CEO of Ghana Tourism Development Company, who has been taking us through what he has been doing since he took over almost a year ago. Great work. In fact, the platform that, just the two platforms, the Ghana Tourism Marketplace and the Ghana Tourism Investment platform, just these two can take somebody or an institution 2-3 years, but they did it within a matter of about 3 months or so. And it's operational. It's not like they are doing test run. It's operational. And I saw their report just last week, and quite encouraging. So, Prof, you've taken us through quite a number of things. You also mentioned behind the scenes, I was complaining about, in fact, not behind the scenes, when I was doing my take, I was talking about the December and GH, focusing on just December does not help anyone. And you were telling me what you are doing. What are you doing to make sure that we have events throughout the year, not just December?
Absolutely. I think that we were blessed with the president's knowledge in how we can upscale tourism. He perfectly nailed it that the Black Star experience means we should be able to give 365 days tourism experience of the highest quality to anyone who enters this country. So that we are not restricted to December, though very important calendar for us. And you can understand why people will come to Ghana in December. The president challenged us to ensure that happens, optimizing almost every event in the country from January to December. So that no matter what day and month window you enter Ghana, you know what is there. At GTDC, we took the president's admonition seriously, and we started working that. We're done. We're testing the tool. It's a digital tool that gives you 365 days calendar. We're going to call it Ghana Tourism Events Calendar. And obviously Ghana Tourism for a purpose. I told you our consciousness to promote Ghana Tourism. And so no matter where you are globally, you go onto the calendar, you log in, you register, you look through the calendar. Obviously we have national days and festival days. So we are going to preload those ones, the national ones. So all the festivals, Homowo, Akwesidae, Fetu, Afashe, we're going to preload them, because we know when they happen. Obviously, the national ones, 6 March, etc., we're going to preload them. Fetu, what do you call the Muslim festivals, the periods, and then of course the Christian ones. We're going to preload all of them. Now the rest are to individuals. So when you log in, you put your program that you're organizing there, you select the region that you're in, You select the district that you're in. You select or you type in the event venue.
Right.
You indicate the time, etc. Bingo. But then you have to also upload your ID.
Okay.
Because we have to know that you're a fit and proper person.
Yes.
So your Ghana card, etc. When it comes, we verify that, and then we make it front end. We make it available front end. Now, obviously, with all the social media clicks. So when we click on each of program, we can market your program. So when you upload your program, we can click on the Twitter and then tweet your program. Click on Facebook and post your program, etc. As our responsibility, because GTDC is tourism development company. So we have to ensure that the tourism players are making money.
Yeah.
That's my task, right? So once we do that, you also have a platform where you can share the link. You can share to people. I have this event coming on. Then people can plan. Now people can click on the calendar and add it to their personal calendar for alerts to be given.
Right.
That way, you can tell how many events happening in February and where they are happening. And you can plan to buy your ticket wherever you are, or buy your air for whatever, or book a hotel. So you know that coming to Ghana, you have Chocolate Day, you have this, you have that, you have that in February. Yeah. Then there are these events, there are these festivals in Ghana. And it gives the other sections of the country opportunity. So whether you are Sunyani, or whether you are Sefi, or whether you are, Tumu, you will be in the calendar.
Right.
And people can tell and then come to you. It also allows us to align the hotels, and other, what we call tourism services to them. So the calendar is ready.
Right.
We are definitely going to go big time on it. Once we finish testing the login systems, and because we're embedding it in the GTM.
Right.
I want to have a one sign in.
Okay.
So that when you sign into GTM, you have access to the calendar, etc. So that the logins are not plenty.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing. Once we are done with that integration, then we announce it and then we launch it, and that's bingo.
That's quite interesting. That means even airlines can look at the calendar and plan.
Absolutely, because you know where the peak periods are in terms of Ghana program.
Right. That's good. So now let's come back to resources and support. Everything that you've done so far, where I sit, these apps, per what we have seen some of the agencies, what they've done, would probably, you are looking at $1.5 to $2 million to develop some of these things. They cost a lot from what we have seen and what we observe. And you put all this together and they need to be pushed. How are you being supported, or what support do you need or want that can push this?
Yeah. In management, it's about resource mobilization. So you have to, anybody who is in a management position, you have to ask yourself, how do you mobilize the resources to execute or to implement a certain task? And as you know, GTDC is Ghana Tourism Development Company, and we are supposed to work with players to invest in the country. Now, in the past, the assets that we have are JVs, and what we call shareholding in particular, spaces. So it means that we work with institutions that have the resources to invest, and then they give us a percentage. So because we don't have the resources to procure, IT services, we're lucky to have people who say, okay, I have these competences, I can develop this. And then once you listen to the vet and you know that you can work with these guys, then they work with. So luckily for us, the platforms are developed by people who have those competencies. But of course, because of my insight and my relationship with them, I could direct and guide the way I want it to look like, and then work with them. So on that point, we have been successful. But then in terms of marketing it, because these young people do not have money to market things like that, but they can do with their hands. So obviously we have opportunity to tap into their expertise and get it done. But now it's about how to market it. That's where the support needs, because it's beautiful to build systems, but you need to market the system for its usability to happen. So the usage or the use cases would come when it is properly marketed. In the meantime, we've been successful with social media, throwing it here and there, getting it. But that's not the kind of marketing you need. You need a big scale marketing. That's where the support is needed. I mean, we've approached few institutions, we've sent letters. You know, I'm a very old school person. People say, I feel the use of personality is what actually breaks institution. You know, it has to be formalized. So I believe in write a letter. You know, so that at least there's a trace. You know, there's a continuity. You know, so we've written letters to it. So sometimes people say, oh, but call this person. I say, yeah, it's good. But that brings back to the principle of how do you ensure sustainability, traceability, etc. So before the break, we wrote letters to institutions. I'm going to follow them up. That we need help. So maybe they are CSR, you know, they can help us with these things. But also not only just help but people who want to invest, they can come. I mean, we can speak to the guys and say, okay, somebody wants to invest in this X amount of money. And then, of course, it becomes a joint, you know, what you call project. Why not? There's opportunities for that.
Well, viewers, no doubt about the potential in tourism in Ghana. Huge potential. If you are anywhere in Ghana, in Africa, anywhere in the world that you are looking to invest, this is the right place. Contact GTDC. They will get you the right investment that you can invest in. You need to come, push them, support them, and get them to do what they can do. Look, Africa will be the place to invest. And if you are talking about investing in Africa, you cannot possibly take Ghana out. Ghana is a gateway to Africa. It's the center of the world. So you need to come and support. And of course, corporate Ghana, come on board. Tourism cut across every sector. If you invest in tourism, you are investing in areas that you know that return on your investment is assured. So, Prof, getting to the end of our conversation, I want you to share with us your vision for GTDC in the next couple of years. I don't know how long. I heard you say that you have given yourself 2 years to do what you need to do, and 1 year is almost gone. And so what is your vision for the next few years that if God blesses you and the president keeps you there, which I pray so, and you get resources, what are you going to do? What do you want to achieve? That
I want to see a very vibrant domestic tourism, and that's why Accra by Night, you know, to add spice in the existing tourism bouquets that we have. But not only Accra by Night, obviously we have ideas for the regions. Today I was discussing with one of my guys, in fact my lead developer. There's a guy from, and that's a typical example of what there's a guy from South Africa. He's going to Cape Coast today to see Castle, obviously, to go to the places. Guess what? You get to VIP, there is no bus going there. Obviously, the bus will say, we're going to Takrady, you drop at Cape Coast, right? But you can imagine the chaos at VVIP and then a foreigner coming. You know, if you are local, even look at how the places. So how would it look if we have a scheduled tourism buses to these destinations? So you can say every Wednesday there's a tourism bus that takes off from
here to here.
Accra to Cape Coast to the vantage tourism destinations, all right? So people can plan with that. You see, when we started Accra by Night, we said what? Every end of month, Friday. It was deliberate. One, to measure the demand, to see how the demand will go, but also to give people expectation of when you can, and also to control cost, etc. All right. So if we had the buses, which we're supposed to have, but we don't have, we could serve these places. All right, we could serve Kumasi, we could serve Cape Coast, we could serve Secondary Takrady, we could serve whole Water region, we could serve the north, but we don't have it. All right, so for me, it's about domestic tourism. And domestic tourism, I always tell people that, look, domestic tourism is not international tourism. The motivations that make someone leave America or leave England to come to Ghana is not the same as motivation that makes somebody leave Kumasi to Accra or to Takrady. You have to understand the tourism motivations. We have what we call SOR theory, stimulus organism response. If the right stimulus is not given, the organism will not respond. Do you get it? So if we want people to internally move between cities and towns and for tourism purposes, there must be certain, stimulus. And so I want to see a very vibrant domestic tourism, which I know that we have the insight of doing it.
Right.
I want to see sustainable tourism.
Okay.
And that's why I'm big on digitalization,
Right.
because that would generate us the data. Currently, as I speak, we are building an email client. A lot of people might not understand some of these things, but marketing channels are very important.
Yeah.
It's not always about mass media, but you can use email marketing to generate a lot of leads, right? So I'm building a very comprehensive email client that every Thursday I can send emails to your inbox, although you have to work with regulatory frameworks, all right? Data protection, agency, etc. But you have to put the systems in place, all right? And then when I send you a Blue Botanical Garden email, you can see how beautiful the place is, etc. You click on it and say, I want to go there. Then it takes you to the marketplace. All right. I can send you an email about Asemanso.
Right.
Oh, wow, that's spiritual. All right. You can click on it and then it takes you to the marketplace. These are systems that we are putting in place. I believe that with the right systems, we can change the attitude of domestic tourism or attitude towards domestic tourism. Look, we need to deliberately do certain awareness programs on TV. And so if I have resources or if I can get the access, you're working with televisions and showing people how their attitude of something for the boys, something for the boys is hurting the image of the country at the entry point. And you see, once I show that on TV, there are some people who will feel guilty and will start stopping doing those things. But there are hard nuts who will still. But at least if I start doing that, projecting that at entry point Kotoka, there's a tourist coming, and then the person goes, something for the boys, and then what do you mean by that? And then I show the agents who is sitting at Kotoka, some of them will be like, hey, Charlie, this thing there, they look good crowd. He will advise himself. All right? Gradually, I will change that habit. If I show on TV, Kosiani Meko, a Nigerian, oh wow, this is beautiful. And then, we say, customer service, this lady wanted to do that. And then that excites, people will start learning from that. Attitude not change. You use mass media to do that. Are we doing it? We're not doing it. Can we do it? We can do it. We can change behaviors. If I show you that without domestic tourism, without tourism, you have very little to say in your home. And all that you'll be doing is gossiping. All right? Because if you go on tour with your partner, you have a lot to say. You don't have to be talking about some people in the church, how their shoes look like and all that. You would have a lot more productive conversation because you have visited places and you get to know a lot more things that will expand your worldview. Your psychology towards people and places will change and will become better people. That's what tourism provides. But because people don't have use cases, there's nothing in our mass media space that is tilted towards attitudinal change towards tourism. People are not seeing it. I keep saying that we have demonized tourism in this country for a long time ago. Hotels, going to hotel is something, especially for women. All right. telling people that "Oh, this evening I'm not cooking, I just want to go and eat at a restaurant." Hey, when you're home, Papa, right? And then your in-laws are going to say, "See this lazy woman that my son has gone to marry." All that she's thinking about is restaurant food. We have demonized that. We need to demonize tourism spaces. Right. And we can do that with mass media. You see, so for me, I need, with the time and opportunity given to me by the president, to deliberately instigate domestic tourism and sustainable tourism. You know, not to even talk about international. International, it's even easy to do it.
Yeah.
But domestic tourism is a challenge.
Yeah.
And for me, and I will not sit here and boast, look, the blueprint, we have it. We're left with resources.
Wow. This is interesting. I'll give you the final say for you to look into this is your screen to look into it and give you a final statement. But viewers, this has been, for me, it has been enlightening. It has been benefiting to me. I have enjoyed the conversation. I look forward to people coming on board and say, "Oh, we have some $500,000, some $100,000 or cedis." Okay, let me quote in cedis. We have some 2 million cedis somewhere that we think we can push into what GTDC is doing, because we know we will get our return on our investment. And we employ all Ghanaians, all Africans, diasporans, wherever you are, to look at what GTD is doing. You see, the issue, especially with the Ghana tourism marketplace, is that, look, it's a platform that if we generate the right numbers, that alone is a money-making machine for us. Absolutely. If we get the numbers, we can use it as a blueprint to even get other countries to buy this app, and we can make a lot of money from it. So what we need now, what GTDC needs now, is for investment into what they are doing, to market it, to push it to the level where we need to push it. So we invite everybody to come on board to support them. Prof, your final words.
Yeah, I'm going to be very blunt and perhaps controversial.
That's what we need.
I tell my friends that, look, if you are a government and you tell the citizens that you have 10 million cities and you have 3 sectors or 5 sectors, education, health, roads or energy, and then you have tourism,
right,
and you ask them, how much do you share that 10 million cities budget? And you tell them perhaps you're going to put, out of the 10 million, 4 million cities into tourism. The voters will rise against you.
Yes.
All right. They would skinning you alive and saying, no, health is important. Road is important. Energy.
Yeah.
Why are you going to put tourism in Sahel? Why are you going to give in Sahel 4 million? All right. So right from the word go, the tourism sector is on a bad foot because of our appreciation of it. But I'm telling you, in other countries, that's where the big chunk of the budget goes. Do you get it? Yeah. And that's what actually brings in the money. A lot of the sectors are actually cost centers. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah. Education is a cost center. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can reap the benefits at some point, but not immediate. And it's very important sector, because that's why we are here. All right. The government made the right investment in education. That's why you have a level-headed population. Ghana is civil because we have the right education. Nobody disputes that. But we do not discount the contribution of tourism. And I tell people that, look, in the eyes of most people, tourism is not important. And that's why the budget allocations don't go in our way. But we are not seeing it. Look, should families start embarking on tour, it has a net benefit. All right? Health concerns. Yeah. Look, a lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are not in the right places because they don't move beyond their confines. Yeah. All right? They don't move. There's a reason why sports and all these things are part of human development. because it makes you sing,
Yeah.
because it improves your perspective. Now, I started traveling at a very early age. So my perspective, and I will not boast that I have very much refined perspective, but at least I know how it refined my person.
Yeah.
Do you get it? And I'm telling you, if we can contribute to these young people growing up in schools, tourism packages that can, look, it makes you a self-starter.
Yeah.
If you travel at a young age and you're able to navigate your way around, you grow in confidence.
Yeah.
Your perspectives of the world change. All right? These are the net benefit that we can get. So for me, we shouldn't see investment in tourism as a waste, or we shouldn't see it as a luxury item. It is very essential, critical, as we invest in health, as we invest in energy, as we invest in roads, in all the other sectors. So I'll call on everyone, including us, that see tourism as one of your best places or the best sectors that contribute to comprehensive growth in human life. And I think when we have that understanding, we can start doing tours locally. We can start thinking about investment in tourism and hospitality. We can start changing our attitude towards these things as frivolous, as not important, but essential part of our livelihood and of our growth. And that was what I say. Now, GTDC is doing a lot. Obviously, a very small entity, so people don't see it, but I see our impact on the sector as very, very huge and vital. And given the right support, the right networks, and I know people like you, I mean, CHTV had been at our events most of the time. These right support will put us at the right place. And for me, no matter how many months or years or whatever I spend at GTDC, my focus is structures, systems, processes. That's what I'm concerned about. And I believe that these things will give us sustainable tourism and can help us build our domestic tourism as well as enhance our international appeal.
This is quite interesting, and we want to thank you, Prof, for coming and sharing these insights with us. This will not end here. That's what we do. We focus on tourism, so we are going to continue to push this agenda to make sure that GTDC is well supported, well positioned, and what you've shared with us, we also continue to share and see what we can bring on board to make sure. Because for me, as a tourism person, I think GTDC is well positioned. If it can get the needed support, Ghana will go to places, and from where we are, we will do our best to support you, to encourage you. I know it is not easy. It's not everything that we can look into the camera and say it, but it's not easy. And we will do what we have to do as private people. You are private, but still public and civil. Right. So you cannot say certain things and do certain things, but we have to do it and support you to make sure that we get there. It's for our own benefit. So thank you once again. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. I will invite you guys to our launch of the GTDC campus. We are setting up a campus branch, so I invite you guys to come in.
We'll be happy to be there.
Thank you. Grateful. All right.